Yo yo yo, what's going on guys? It's your boy Steez, and I'm here today to do my first ever patch notes review. And now this is for the Waking Flame DLC 7.1.0. Now, if you know my channel, you know I'm only going to get into anything that's going to affect PvP. I couldn't give two shits about changes for PvE, honestly. You know, I should just separate the two sides of the fucking game already. But this channel is strictly PvP focused, so I will be mainly talking about how these changes are going to affect PvP. So without further ado guys, let's jump straight into the table of contents. So it's Waking Flame DLC, 2 new dungeons, new item sets, PvP campaign changes, new rewards for the worthy. What else have we got, boys? What else have we got in here today? Combat and gameplay, so a few abilities getting changed. CP system getting changed, that's nice to see because there's a few issues. Item sets getting changed, cool. Few changes to base game, Alliance War and PvP. Right, okay. 2 new dungeons we don't care about. New item sets. Whoa, we're here already. Jesus. It never usually gives us these this quick. Holy fuck. Right, let's have a look at this. Hold on, my cat wants to get out. Fuck off then. Fuck off then. Go on. Fucking hell. Can't have any privacy. Right. So, this comes from the Dread Cellar dungeon. Now this is a light set. So, 2, 3, 4 piece max mag recov, weapon and spell damage. 5 piece. When you deal damage with a fully charged heavy attack, you gain an imbued aura for 10 seconds, granting you and up to 3 other group members 307 magicka and stamina recovery. Okay, that's pretty strong. This effect can occur once every 20 seconds and it's up for 10, so it's a 50% uptime. Hold on, there's a second part. If you deal damage with a fully charged heavy attack with an imbued aura active, consume it and gain an overflow aura for 10 seconds, granting you and up to 3 other group members 307 weapon and spell damage. Okay. Right. This is going to be really strong in small group scenario, you know. I'd run this on a healer, specifically. You know, this set alone basically replaces both Symphony of Blades and Spell Power Cure in one set. So, yeah. And it's a unique buff, you know. 307 weapon and spell damage is like a unique buff, it's not major courage or whatever, so you could run this on top of Spell Power Cure and Powerful Assault. So you can actually keep the full set on a 20-second, you know, on 100% uptime. So you can do the, like, 10 seconds, you know, heavy attack with a resto, get the stamina mag recovery, and then at the back end of that, do another heavy attack. I imagine on PC this would be a lot easier with add-ons, you'd be able to manage it a lot easier, but, you know, even on console and stuff, you know, this is really easy and manageable. So at the back end you could do another heavy attack and you're going to get another 10 seconds of weapon and spell damage, so that's pretty cool. I can see them changing this, especially the values there. But it does only affect 4 people, including the wearer of the set, so it is only going to be useful in 4-man, small scale scenario. Rush of Agony, medium. Now I've seen this set already. People have been sending me this shit. So, 2, 3, 4 piece, stam recov, weapon and spell damage, offensive penetration. So it's hybrided, like the other sets are. When you deal direct damage with a blink charge, what the fuck is a blink? When you deal direct damage with a blink, charge, leap, teleport or pull ability, Pull enemies within 10 meters to you. 10 meters. See, 10 meters is it worth it? We'll see. After 2 seconds, deal physical damage to all enemies within 7 meters. I don't know why they didn't just make that the same kind of radius. This effect can occur once every 8 seconds and scales off the higher of your weapon or spell damage. The pull will not apply CC immunity to a target. What? So you could crit charge into a Zerg, pull them all in, fear them, and then master 2H carve the fuck out of them. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Developer comment. Here we go. Come on, G, you know what you're saying. We expect to see a lot of power from this set, with its ability to pull enemies without applying crowd control. In early internal playtesting, fucking hell, these are big words. These are big words for Zos. We experimented both with and without CC immunity application, and with it, the pull from this set felt challenging to engage with, as your goal was to keep everyone clumped up for a prolonged period of time for the boom. But you couldn't do it. Couldn't do it, right? These guys have never played bombers. With no CC immunity application, we hope there is both enough time to get out before you get hit with a big stun like Dawnbreaker of smiting and the explosion from the set, and enough room to try and deny your opponent to do that. Okay. Note that this set's pull will still respect CC immunity and not pull targets who are immune to CC. Okay, that's better. Okay. So, if they've already been stunned in the last 6 to 7 seconds, you know, they're not going to get pulled. So, if you can't use, like, Streak with this to proc it, and you can't use, like, what else? Like, Silver Leash, because it stuns, you know what I mean? I mean, I guess it'd still pull people that haven't been stunned by it, but especially Streak, it wouldn't work. Which is a shame, because that'd have gone really well with Stamsort. Streak into a Zerg and just Dawny and spin, like. But yeah, really interesting set. I can see that being really effective. And I think they need to change the radius, but I really don't think you even need the damage on there, to be honest. I think the pull alone, without the CC control, immunity, is strong enough to make it as, like... But yeah, put the damage on there anyway, make it cheese, in typical Zos fashion. The heavy set from the dungeon is 2-3-4 piece, armor, health, armor. And the 5 piece is when you use an ability that applies a major or minor buff to yourself or an ally, send out a wave of energy that reduces the armor of nearby enemies within 12 meters by 3-5-4-1 for 15 seconds. This effect can occur once every 12 seconds and will only occur if an enemy is within range. Okay. So this is, I can see this being meta in PvE, but when you use an ability that applies a major or minor buff to yourself or an ally, this is basically any ability in the game. You know, like armor buff, like literally so many skills proc major and minor buffs anyway, even if they haven't got a major or minor buff attached to them. So this is going to proc that. So it reduces the armor of nearby enemies within 12 meters. So that 12 meters is pretty good. 3.5k basically reduce their armor by. For 15 seconds. Is there a cap on this, on how many people it can hit? If not, you know, I don't really see it being used in PvP that much. I mean, 3-5-4-1 is basically a sharpened trait. But it applies to everyone, so I don't know. It's really easy to proc. Like, you don't even have to think about proccing it. Alright, and the way it, like, it will only occur if an enemy is within range. Like, that alone is gonna make it so easy to have it when you need it. You know what I mean? Developer comment. We hope this set will become a core. Core. Can I not spell core right? What? See, is that an acronym? Or what? A core group set. See what we did there? No, I don't. Wait. Oh, Crimson's Earth. Ah, see what you did there, Gina. I see what you did there. Right, the monster set. Magma Incarnate Monster Mask. One piece adds mag and stam recov. Okay, I think that's the first monster set that adds mag and stam recov. I might be wrong, but that's pretty cool to learn. 2-piece. When you heal yourself or a group member with a single target heal ability, so like Breath of Life, Polar Wind, yada yada yada, grant the lowest health group member within 28 meters minor courage and minor resolve, increasing their weapon and spell damage by 215. You know what the buffs do already. Daedric energy will then bounce to a nearby group member up to 3 times, applying minor courage and minor resolve. So it can occur once every 15 seconds and it's up for 10 seconds. Okay. So it affects 4 people, including the first person. So again, it's another small scale set. Again, this is going to be really strong, especially if you pair. It's a monster set, for fuck's sake. That should be a 5-piece, like alone. Like that 2-piece should be a 5-piece. But like that combined, with the light set. That's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Like if you paired the light, the heavy, and the monster set to a build, like that's a build alone. And that's going to be so much buffs for the group. The Daedric energy will always prioritize lower health group members that have not already been hit by Magma Incarnate. That's great, Zos. Just put another thing for the server to calculate into the game. That's lovely. Keep doing that. Keep adding more lag. That's what we like to see. So the next dungeon, Red Pestle Bastion, the light set, Thunder Caller, 2-3-4-piece, offensive pen, weapon and spell damage, weapon and spell damage. The 5-piece, dealing damage with a fully charged heavy attack, calls a bolt of lightning at your target, dealing shock damage, and leaving a 4-meter lightning crater at their location for 6 seconds, dealing shock damage per second to enemies touching the crater. This effect can occur once every 12 seconds, and scales off of your highest stats. So it's a 50% uptime, you got to proc it with a heavy attack. The lightning comes underneath the target. It depends how much the tooltip is, but honestly, pretty shit. I see this being used more as a 2-piece, because it's got a 2-piece of offensive pen, which I haven't seen a lot of in many 5-piece sets. You know, which that could be quite useful. And the 3 and 4-piece make it a good 4-piece set. Right, next set, Grizzly Garment. It's got a cool name. Medium. 2-3-4-piece is max stam, weapon and spell damage, offensive pen. And the 5-piece is max stamina, and dealing light attack damage grants you a stack of Baker's Delight for 5 seconds. When you gain 3 stacks, you create a sweet roll. What? Next to your target for 5 seconds. If you or an ally touches a sweet roll, both you and your ally gain one of the following effects. Restore 1.6k health, mag and stamina. gain Empower for 10 seconds, which is 40% increased light damage, I think. And gain Major Force for 10 seconds, which is extra crit damage, right? This effect can occur once every 2 seconds. But the buff applies for how long? 10 seconds. So you could have Empower and Major Force up all at the same time, right? Dealing light attack damage grants you a stack. You've got to hit 3 light attacks, and then your allies got to pick up the sweet roll. So I can see this being good on like a ranged bow build, maybe. You know, where you can do light attack damage really easily. And you've got a friend like a DK, maybe brawler in, like up in the faces, and they can get the sweet rolls. And that's going to give you a lot of, like, Major Force, Empower. These are big buffs. And 1.6k mag health and stam is quite a lot to restore, especially if you can proc it every 2 seconds. Because you can deal 3 light attacks every 2 seconds. If you're just doing a light attack build, you know what I mean? And just spam the fuck out of bow light attacks on people. Like, yeah. I can see this being really niche in PvP, but it looks really, really interesting, and the 2-3-4 pieces are really good as well, especially with the extra stamina on the 5 piece. Even just as a set alone, just to wear, it's pretty good, because it gives you recove and damage. Okay, the heavy set, Silver Rose Vigil. 2-3-4 piece, stealth. Been playing too much Nightbird. Stamina, health, and stamina. The 5 piece, blocking an attack, grants you a stack of Realm Shaper for 15 seconds. 1 stack every 0.5 seconds. When you reach 3 stacks, you consume them and launch necrotic energy at your attacker, dealing magic damage and applying major maim. Once you fire the energy, you cannot gain additional stacks for 12 seconds, and the damage scales off of max health. It's weird that they've given this a 2 and a 4 piece of stamina. You'd think, because it's magic damage. I mean, I guess to block, you proc it by blocking, so the same as like Explosive Rebuke has a stamina piece on the 2 piece and shit. So you block it, you can block 3 attacks, and then you get the damage. Depends how much the magic damage is, but this could be too overpowered. But it only hits 1 person, right? Yeah, if it only hits 1 person, it's not too much. It's not too bad. Right. The monster set from here, Prior Theoric. That sounds really cool to say, but I know for a fact I am not saying it correctly. 1 piece, weapon and spell damage. 2 piece. Dealing direct damage with an AoE ability creates a 6 meter shadowy whirlwind below your enemy for 7 seconds. Enemies within the whirlwind take physical damage every second and increase their damage taken from AoE abilities by 5%. Okay. This effect can occur once every 15 seconds. So, that's funny this set should come out, really. I've been working on a Stanblade bomber, and this would work really well for it, because I'm using Dark Shade, which like follows you in. You know, the little ghost, like shadow image that follows you in and does damage. Like, imagine that, and you've got this other little shadowy guy just doing a little spin as well. Talk about frame rate. But yeah, quite a cool little set. 6 meter I don't think is enough. It depends how much the damage is going to be, I guess. But yeah, quite a cool little set, 'cause it's a unique buff from AoE damage. So you can see that being used. I can see it being used quite a lot. especially on like spin to wins and stuff. New collectibles, don't give a fuck. Right, PvP campaign changes. For update 31, the existing no-CP Cyrodiil and IC campaigns will also prohibit proc sets from firing. So Ravenwatch and no-CP IC will be no proc. We expanded the number of sets from the original grouping that worked. Right, so they were the sets originally for no proc. And these are the ones that they're adding in. Okay, so Battlefield Acrobat's new. Beekeeper might be new. No, it's not. These are all the ones that were in the first one, right? Right, so they're just new sets that are coming into the no-proc, right? In the coming weeks, the following sets will be added and included with Update 31 launch. Right, so there's a lot of sets there, okay. So it's going to be no proc, but a lot of the sets are going to work anyway because they're conditional. We will be disabling Volendrung in no CP, no proc campaigns, okay. I mean, so what? Are they adding a new campaign? No? No. They're not adding a new campaign. Why they couldn't just add a new campaign and not affect... I don't know. I mean, I guess most of the campaigns don't get used anyway. So, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Rewards for the worthy. We've added 3 new item sets to be acquired through rewards for the worthy. Cool. Dark Convergence. That's a cool name. This is the light set. So 2 3-4 piece max mag, penetration, weapon and spell damage. The 5-piece casting abilities that leave an effect on the ground. So caltrops, wall of elements, twisting path, volley, you know, things like that. Will create an area that applies a 30% snare and pulls enemies every 2 seconds after a 0.5 second delay and stun them for 1 second. What's the radius that it can pull people? That depends on how I feel about this. After 4 seconds, the AoE deals magic damage to all enemies in the area and additional magic damage to enemies within 3 meters of the center. Increasing the damage by 10% for each target. Whoa. The effect can occur once every 20 seconds and scales off your higher stats. Right, okay. So this is an interesting set. It's a shame you can't proc this on a bomber because that would be really OP. I mean, does Salt ever leave an effect on the ground? I don't know. It visually, with the animation, it does, but anyway, this set is quite overpowered. Oh, I'm going to go over why. It's very overpowered, actually. So, the 2 3-4 piece alone is really good for magic DPS in general, and the 5 piece. So, this caters to like Zergs trying to kill ball groups, I guess. Is that kind of what they're going for? So, you cast an ability on the ground, and it will create an area inside that AoE that you've placed on the floor, which is going to be where the enemies are, because that's where you're going to be putting your AoEs, that applies a 30% snare, right? We've got way too many snares in this game already. Don't add any more. Because this is another unique snare buff. They need to make a snare like major and minor, like the rest, like a debuff. You know what I mean? Because, you know, you got like, say if someone's running this on like a DK and they're using that ash cloud that reduces your speed by 70%, you are going to be so slow and you're going to get stuck in it. You know what I mean? You're going to get really stuck. And it pulls enemies into it. Like, look, every 2 seconds it'll pull an enemy in. How many enemies does it pull in? If this is any more than one, it's going to be way too overpowered. It's after a 0.5 second delay, so it's not even, it's pretty instant. You know what I mean? As soon as that AoE comes up, they're going to get pulled in. Every 2 seconds. So yeah, it must be one enemy every 2 seconds, just from the word in there. But, you know, you could, so you cast an ability, it pulls people in, it snares them, it stuns them, and then what else can you do on a DK? Pop that talons, baby, and then they're stuck there forever. You know what I mean? And this is another example of a rule breaking set, because you could quite easily triple CC with one ability. You know, basically stop them from moving with your snares, and then they get pulled, and then they get stunned, and then you can immobilize them. And then they get damaged for like more that are in the air. Oh, it's very stupid. Stupidly strong. Increasing the damage by 10% for each target. What the fuck are they thinking with this set, man? I mean, yeah, I'm all about Zerg busting sets, but I mean, holy fuck. I am going to run this on my bomber in group. It doesn't even matter what the damage is. Like, it could be 2, for all I care. 2 damage from the proc, I don't care. Just the 5-piece alone. Like, you've got so much utility there for group play. Develop comment, here we go. This set was designed with one goal in mind. Kill large groups. Pesky Zergs sitting on your keep or resource? Send them to the void by pairing this set with some hard CC and immobilizers. So they're promoting, you know, abusing the CC from this set. They're like, yeah, fucking go ahead and do it. Get them with some hard CC, you know what I mean? And immobilizers, get them all in there. Fuck. Oh my god. Zos actually are funny, aren't they? They are funny. Right. So yeah, that's going to be busted. Just busted. Plague Break, medium. 2, 3, 4-piece. Offensive pen, weapon and spell, weapon and spell. The 5-piece. Dealing direct damage to an enemy turns them into a plague carrier for 10 seconds, dealing disease damage over the duration. If the plague is removed early, it explodes, infecting enemies within 8 meters of the carrier, dealing disease damage. What? The explosion deals an additional 10% per... This is basically a stamina version of that set, without the pull. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. So it's 100% uptime. This is going to be fucking AIDS. Excuse my French. If you're a ball group, this set is going to ruin your life. Absolutely ruin your life. If you've got healers in your group, this set is going to punish. It's actually really clever what they've done. Because ball groups are they're not a problem, but running 6 healers deep is a problem. and all them healers are spamming Purge. You know? And all you have to do is deal direct damage. So it can only hit one person, and it can occur every 10 seconds. But that explosion, if someone's running in a ball group and you like, if you streak in, for example, on a Stamsork, and you apply Concussed with your shock damage or something, whatever, you know, and that gets purged, yeah. I mean, they don't even have to have a bad... What? No, sorry, ignore me. They don't even have to have a bad effect on them. You just have to deal direct damage to them, and it's going to put that disease damage on them, like, as a negative effect. And if that's removed earlier, it explodes. Right, okay. I thought if you applied a negative effect to them, and yeah. So, yeah, you streak into a ball group. 1 second later, that ball group goes poof. So you could pair this with, like, VD and really destroy shit. I've been saying for a very long time, Stam Bombers are really, really strong this patch. I've made a few Stam Bombers. Now, like, you guys know, I bomb on every class. And now, I've bombed on every class, Magicka and Stamina. You know, I've tried every class this patch on Stam, and they all feel fucking great. Like, Stamsork especially. Like, VD Acuity Balrog on every build, guys, I'm telling you. But this Plague Break set, this is going to be a game changer. Absolute game changer. Similar to Dark Convergence, we targeted large groups again with this set, focusing on their ability to have numerous purges running, making locking them down and bleeding them out incredibly difficult to do. Now, larger groups must purge more carefully, running the risk of setting off ticking time bombs and having to heal up the aftermath, instead of repeatedly casting it with reckless abandon. Yeah, so that large group should be replaced with ball groups, but yeah, I get where they're going with it. The heavy set, health, armor, penetration. What? Why would you put penetration on a heavy set? What are you doing? What? Stunning or immobilizing your enemy causes them to burst with frost magic, applying a chilled status effect, and dealing 26% of their total physical and spell resistance as frost damage to themselves and enemies. What? The fuck? Right, okay, so stunning or immobilizing. Very easy to do, very easy to proc. So chilled is gonna apply minor brittle too, right? So they're gonna take 10% more crit damage. But it's only gonna apply to one person. Okay. See, if the chilled applied to everyone hit by the damage, that'd have been better, but still an interesting set. I mean, 26% of your total physical and spell resistance, so it kind of works like a Lessian where it's a total. So if you're rocking like 40k resists on a tank, that's 80k, so 26% of 80k, that's what? Like 20k, 21k, something like that. So, but obviously that's going to get affected by Battle Spirit. So you're looking at like 10k proc on a 40k tank resistance kind of build, which is still really high numbers for a tank. It can occur every 7 seconds. That's quite OP. That's strong. That's as strong as Crimson without the heal. Well, you know, old Crimson, not the new Crimson. The new Crimson. Shit! Right. Now that I've used it, I just know that I can kill anyone running Crimson now. Right, all this new shit we don't care about. No one cares about quests, bro. No one gives a fuck. Combat and gameplay, companions, and I don't give a fuck, I ain't got Blackwood. All this shit, no one gives a fuck about. Quests, dungeons, exploration, crafting, combat and abilities. Here we go, boys. Right. Improved the back-end scripting of taunt. Updated break free. Okay. Increase the damage taken reduction from battle spirit. Okay, so you take more. Wait. You take less damage. 11% less damage than before. I don't even want to read that. Sorry, Zos. I mean, I know why they've done it because damage is too high, but they've done. You know, they shouldn't have affected battle spirit really. Because. I mean, that's the lazy way to do it. That's the Zos way to do it. So, I'm not surprised. The following passives and player abilities now grant hybrid stats to help improve their viability. So, agility now grants weapon and spell damage. That's pretty cool. Balance warrior. I guess that's a trial set. Oh wait, no, these are passives, right? Now grants 1.3k armor rather than 2.6k spell, so that's probably either Templar or DK, right? Equal weapon and spell damage values. Okay, so passives have been granted, like, so like for example on Templar where you get 6%, is it spell damage or weapon damage? And that's now going to be like hybrided. And like on DK where you get spell resist, you know, you're just going to get armor across the board. That's pretty cool. Brutal Carnage, that's a werewolf ability. Concentration now grants equal offensive pen. That's a Destro staff passive. So you're going to get physical pen now with Destro staff. That's pretty cool. Dexterity now increases crit damage and healing done per piece 1 by 2% rather than weapon crit. As Prodigy now grants weapon crit as well. Okay, so you still get the weapon crit for wearing medium, but you get 2% crit damage and healing done per piece 1. That's going to be really strong on Standblade. Whoa. Whoa, hold up. So if you're running 5 medium or 7 medium, 14% more crit damage, that's like running the Shadow Mundus, bro. That's going to be really strong. Okay. Like I said, stand bombers, bro, are coming in. If you run like 7 acuity, well, obviously not 7 acuity, 7 medium and acuity VD Balog, like, on like a, just any kind of spin to win, I guess. Flawless Dawnbreaker now grants weapon and spell damage, that's pretty cool. Prodigy now grants equal crit chance. So that's just to replace how they've redone dexterity, I guess. Savage Strength, that's definitely a Templar thing, I think. Scaled Armor, that's a DK thing, that's what I was talking about before. Slayer now grants equal weapon and spell damage values. That's really, really cool. So now it's worth stacking Fighters Guild abilities on Magicka. If you push in like a high damage glass cannon build anyway. So we're definitely going to be running Camo Hunter on the front bar next batch, boys. Fixed multiple issues with ability bar timers. I don't run them anyway because they're buggy, and they're going to be buggy for a very long time. Fixed numerous issues with synergies failing to be considered ability casts. Right, okay. Just fixes to bugs, right? Fixes to stealth, only direct damage, AoE attacks. Should put you out of stealth, okay. Just fixed loads of issues, right? Okay, here we go. Magma Armor. Corrosive, fixed an issue, okay. Fixed an issue. Anything that says fixed an issue, I'm not going to go over. Because most of what they do is just fixing issues. Flame Skull. The bonus damage from this morph's third cast has now been built into their damage coefficients rather than as a bonus modifier effect. Okay, this is just gonna clean up calculations on their end. That's not true, that's never happened to me. I mean, it's happened when I've used detect bots against other people, but, you know. So, they've made it so that Shadow Cloak shouldn't work against people running detects. Okay. Overlord. Light attacks from this ultimate and morphs now break stealth when cast. There is nothing sneaky about lobbing giant bolts of lightning at your foes. That is very, very true. So, every time you light attack with Overlord now, you're going to get pulled out of stealth. Backlash. 50% of the damage you deal to the target, up from 20. Whoa. That's just received a huge buff up. Whoa, Templar's gonna be naughty next patch. The final explosion now scales off your spell or weapon damage, rather than mag or stam. What? That's a huge change. This is... Backlash was one of the only skills that scaled better with max stat than damage for a very long time. Now it scales with damage. That's going to be overpowered, bro. The final explosion now also scales with both positive and negative bonuses rather than only negative ones. Backlash go boom. Steve's go Templar, you know what I'm saying? Fuck. Fixed an issue where both morphs of this ability had scaling coefficients. This morph no longer increases the damage done of the ability based on your current mag, but instead increases the damage scaling of the execute to 500%. Hold up. Are they mad? I'm already getting hit by 12k Radiant Ds for one tick. Right? What? What the fuck are they thinking? Jesus, Templar is gonna be popping next patch. Everyone's gonna be a Jesus Beam Templar. Everyone. Warden. This passive now grants major mending for 4 seconds, up from 3 seconds. Okay. Frozen Gate now lasts for 15 rather than 30. These are just all nothing really. Okay, increase the bonus of the Inferno and Lightning Staff types to 10% up from 8% to help better match the power of Twin Blade and Blunt or Heavy Weapons grant. Okay, so Lightning Staff is 10% AoE damage, Inferno is 10% direct damage, single target damage, sorry. So that's going to be put them a bit more powerful, I guess. Destructive Touch now guarantees their respective element type status effect on hit. Increase the cost slightly. Increase the range by 1 meter. The Frost Touch and Reach versions of this ability now deal 80% more damage on its initial hit to make them equal to other ranged spambles. Oh boy, my battery's about to die. Hold up, I might have to cut this shit short in a minute. So 8% more damage for a Frost Clench, that's pretty cool, especially if you're running like the Master's Frost Staff. And it applies Major Maim. And it's cost reduced. What? And it applies Taunt. Holy fuck. Okay. So Frost Clench is going to be really good next patch. Yeah, no one cares. No one cares, us. This passive now properly states it affects all status effects rather than only elemental. That's pretty cool. The ability in its mask can now once again be reflected. Force shock. Oh, that's pretty cool. It used to do that. Wall of elements. Fixed an issue. Weakness to elements. Morph now persists indefinitely rather than refreshing when they take damage from you. That's cool. Flurry heals for 33% of the damage done per hit rather than 63% of the final hit. The absorb passive from Restore Staff now works properly and restores more magicka, but with a 250 millisecond cooldown, and procs on any successful block rather than only spells. That's pretty good. 3 mag sustain there for people using Restore. Essence Drain, increase the duration of major mending for 4 seconds. Passive now heals a friendly target within 12 meters of the enemy heavy attacked, up from 6. That's pretty good, because it's rare use to get that off. Increase the healing done to 50% of the damage done, up from 30%. That's a big change. That's 20% more healing right there. Fixed an issue where this passive could crit strike. Okay. So the heavy attack you do on an enemy, it's going to bounce off and heal someone for quite a lot more. So it's going to be a burst heal on a heavy attack bit, pretty much. But it's not going to crit. Grand healing. The healing springs morph, remove the visual effects. Life Giver, the Restore ulti. Fixed an issue. So they're just fixing issues. Cleave, the ability in the Carve morph now apply damage shield on you equal to the scaling coefficients of the initial hit. No, it does not grant a shield based on damage done. Increase the cost by 300. Adjusted the area to hit in a 300-degree arc with a 5-meter radius rather than a 140-degree arc with a 7-meter radius. Right, okay, that's cool, but why reduce the radius? It's already got the shittest radius. To better line up with the attack's visual appearances and help make it more clear which attack should land and which should not. And Brawler, increase the size of the morph damage shield by 7%. And Carve, the bleed from this morph can now stack up to 3 times. Wow, it's been a minute since we've been able to do that. That's pretty cool. So Master 2H builds are going to be really good. If you paired that now with the Rush of Agony set that we went over before, and it pulls everyone in, and you get that hit with a Master 2H, boom, baby. That's going to be naughty. But yeah, the radius should be bigger. But good changes, because the AoE on it before was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Right. Oh, fixed an issue. So, no one cares. Fixed an issue. Vamp Drain now heals for 25% of your missing health rather than 23. One more additional ultimate per rank for Exhilarating Drain, and yeah, double the amount of stamina for Drain Vigor. Okay. So Expert Hunter now properly works. I'll be the judge of that. I will be the judge of that. Skilled Tracker, this increases your damage with fighter skilled abilities by 10% and an additional 10% against werewolves and vampires. Okay, that's pretty good. That's going to make Dawny hit 10% harder. Okay. Trap Beast now lasts for 15 rather than a minute. Fire Arrow now lasts for 15 rather than 30. They love this 15 seconds, this patch, don't they? The ability Inner Light. Okay, so Inner Light got the same treatment as Camo Hunter, pretty much. Sigicorda Deliberation no longer grants major protection and instead applies a unique 30% unique damage mitigation. Wow. Okay. So it got a 20% buff to the damage reduction and it stacks now. Great. Crushing Weapon now applies Major Breach. That's really good, but you no longer get the heal. That's good because it gives every class access to Major Breach, which they don't currently have. Undaunted, the ability and the Morse will now apply their own unique visuals if the synergy, just random shit, yeah, for Inner Fire. Inner Beast, increase the Morse damage taken bonus on the target to 12% of base, up from 2%. I believe it was 5%, so that's not 2%. To better enable the very few bruiser tanks out there that were utilising this skill. So those of you that don't know, Inner Beast is really good in duels on the stamina, because it used to make the target take 5% more damage from all of your attacks. But now it's 12%, which is huge. You know? That's like having major vulnerability on someone at all times. In a dueling environment, that's really strong. Assault, Magic, or Detonation. Oh boy, what have they done to my baby? What have they done to me baby? Reduce the base damage of this ability and its morph by approximately 60%. No! It's a sad day for mankind. But increase the scaling per target to 100%, up from 25%. Hold up. No, wait a minute, they've buffed us. They've buffed us by. Surely that's a buff. The abilities will now do less damage than a normal AoE ability, but hits until it hits more than 3 targets. Right. Okay. Yeah, it's a buff. It's a buff, boys. Zos think it's a nerf. But it's only a nerf if you solo bomb people, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, because, you know, that's just fucking harsh as fuck. You know, there's no skill in solo bombing people. You should reduce the potency of the skill against smaller groups while still retaining its high damage against large ones. So I'm going to do a bit of quick math for you here, guys. So my proxy tooltip at the moment is about 10k. So if we reduce that by 60%, that brings it down to 4k. So, if I were to hit a 10-man with a proxy det, at the moment, in the current state, it would be, what? Let's have a look. 25k, right? Because you hit someone for 10k and then it gets buffed by 25% 10 times. So it gets buffed by 250%, so yeah, 25k. In the next patch, it's going to be 4k, right? I told us it's going to be 4k. And if I hit 10 targets, that's going to get buffed by, what, 400%, right? No. 1,000%, right? Wait, 100% 10 times, yeah. So, 4k, obviously, times by 10, 40k. So that alone, 25k before, and 40k next patch. You know that, so the more people you hit, the better proxy's going to be. So it's a buff, okay? Because I don't hit groups usually without, you know, I don't waste my ult on less than 6 or 8 guys, so it's always going to be useful. So yeah, a buff for us, really. Honestly, it's only going to be shit if you bomb small groups, which is what they're saying. So Revealing Flare now prevents stealth for 4 seconds, and its morphs now passively grant major protection while slotted to ensure they do not feel lackluster to slot. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool, but it's going to mean a lot more people are going to be running Revealing Flare, which is going to be awful for Nightblades. They're just trying to get rid of Nightblades here. They're trying to really tone down bombers. Right, CP system fitness added 3 new sub-constellations to this tree, focusing on core combat gameplay interaction, as well as focusing on more universal engagement for PvE encounters. Wind Chaser sub-constellation focused on movement speed and sprinting, so they're adding 3 new stars, slottables, to help with movement speed. They're adding 3 new slottables to help pushing back and fighting against the odds. So increase your health, mag and stam recover by 300 while under the effects of a negative effect. Reduce your damage taken by 1% per negative effect on you, up to a maximum of 20%. It's pretty good. Gain major protection after being stunned, feared. Okay, again, really good. It's nice that they're adding in new slottables because it's going to force people to, you know, go away from the norm. Focused on block and damage shields, increases block mitigation, but lowers your movement speed. Reduces your damage taken with a damage shield active. Really good for Magsorg, that one. When you successfully block, you have 15% chance to restore health. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Renamed Ironclad to Fortified to prevent confusion for legacy players. OGs like me, you mean. As the original Ironclad has made its return. Way, reduced direct damage taken. Yay! Updated several item sets to be more performant on the server. The following item sets can now be used in campaigns that do not allow item set procs. So they're all the sets. Cool. My battery's on 2%. Transient Momentum. Fixed multiple issues where this set would fail to generate stacks. So, fixed an issue. Prismatic Weapon now deals health, mag and stam recover to you and damage, I guess. That makes sense. Wait, how much more is there to do, man? Holy fuck. How much is it? I mean, this is all shit. Alright, there's not that much. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We'll speed through it. We'll speed through it. Right. Where were we? Where were we? I don't know. I don't think we can do it. No, we can't. That's way too much. Hold up. Right. I'm going to have to go charge up. BRB.
A few moments later.
Right, here we are, guys. All charged up and ready to go. Sorry about that. Right. A few changes to some crafted sets. Well, I said some. Just one. Just Pelinals. Now, Pelinals has been a hybrid set. The only hybrid set in the game for a long time. But they're changing it to Pelinals Wrath. Now, it grants you a damage shield based on your weapon or spell damage. And a stack of White Strike for 10 seconds whenever you kill an enemy. A Wrath of White Strike gives you 100 weapon and spell damage, but causes you to take 1% of your max health as oblivion damage every second, up to 10 stacks max. 2 through 4 piece bonuses in our weapon and spell damage, a penetration and weapon and spell damage, rather than health, recover and recover. This set no longer causes your weapon and spell damage to become the highest of the 2 values. So, completely reworked Pelinals. Is it strong? Yes, definitely. I mean, you can get 1k weapon and spell damage from this set, but you're going to take 10% of your health as oblivion damage every second. So it kind of works like the mythic item, I guess. But you take damage instead of reducing your, you know. It's kind of cool. I don't see it being very useful in PvP. I mean, the damage shield alone is kind of handy because obviously you're going to be taking oblivion damage, which you can't mitigate, you know. And 10% of your max health is oblivion damage, you know. If you've got 30k health, you're going to get 3k damage every second. So you've got to be able to out-heal that alone, which, you know, is doable, but in PvP you've got incoming damage as well, so... And you've got to kill an enemy to... Is that right? Whenever you kill an enemy, yeah. So you've got to kill people. And it, yeah, not very good for PvP. I'm going to just stop talking about it because... I mean, it looks good. But, I mean... We'll have to wait and see. It could be useful on like bombers and stuff, but I really don't see it being that great. Dungeon sets. Just issue fixes for Aurorans and a Zerblite. Now Crusader, this set now grants you a damage shield similar to Pelinal's for 6 seconds and creates an AoE beneath you for 10. Whenever you deal direct damage with a blink, charge, leap, teleport or pull, every 2 seconds the area grants you and your group members inside minor courage for 12 seconds. And it can occur once every 20 seconds. Okay. So the making minor courage a lot more easy to access. You know, like Crusader can now be used inside a group in PvP like quite easily to give quite a lot of people minor courage. And there's no cooldown on this. You know, it happens every 2 seconds. Okay. So I'm interested to know if the 12 seconds... So every 2 seconds the area grants you and your group members inside major courage. These effects can occur once every 20 seconds. So Crusader looks interesting now. It's a lot more useful than it was before. Pestilent Host. This set can now stack between multiple wearers. Large groups beware. I didn't know it couldn't, you know. In the past, sets like Oblivion's Foe have been able to stack, so I don't know why this one hasn't been able to stack. I always thought it did, but not enough people run it anyway, and I don't think this change will make enough people run it as well. I mean, it's a good set, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it's very niche, and I don't really find a lot of people using it. Pillar of Nairn. The initial hit from this set can now be properly blocked. Faxos. Sunderflame now has a 2.1 second cooldown to prevent situations where repeated heavy attacks prevented it from dealing any damage. Okay. Unleashed Terror is now properly labelled as a proc and has a 2 second delay before it deals damage. Vipers now has a 1 second delay and 6-4 instead of 5, but the damage over time is the same. Okay, Monster Masks. Kajalna fixed an issue where you could generate stacks for a short window. So, fixing issues. Crag's hitbox now better matches its visual effects. Celine now summons a visual bear to improve performance. Solistric is now a proc. Storm Atro Fist from Stormfist can now be properly dispelled with negates and stuff. Velidreth. This set's disgusting spores no longer explode after hitting a target and instead now continue to travel in a straight line. That's good. That's a good change. because Velodrov is really strong. Really strong. See this set making a comeback next patch. Here we go, mythic items. Fixed an issue for pearls. Nicholas now grants a stack of Nicholas Resolve whenever you successfully block, which after 8 stacks you consume them and completely avoid the next direct damage attack made against you within 5 seconds. So there's no cooldown on the stack, so you can easily block, 8 attacks in like 3-4 seconds. I still don't see it being that good, I think there's been so much potential with this set. How it reflected shit back to people, and I think they've kind of just ruined that now. I mean, it's only direct damage attacks that it affects, so yeah. I mean, it's still pretty cool, but still not very useful. Sifus Touch this set now grants 5% movement speed for 30 seconds whenever you kill an enemy up to 20 times. And grants invisibility for 3 seconds when activating. Okay. So what you can get? Is that like 100% movement speed in one set? Is that right? So if you kill 20 guys, you've got 100% movement speed. Because the movement speed lasts for 30 seconds. Oh, that's pretty cool. So this should be really good on like a stand blade, like a no-cloak stand blade. The set's 2 through 4 piece bonuses are now stam, magicka, and weapon and spell damage. The set no longer grants major berserk. So yeah, they've completely reworked that set to make it useful in actual scenarios. Stygian now grants hybrid stats, and they've changed the 4-piece bonus to offensive pen. The 5-piece bonus now requires you to be in combat to proc. So, yeah. Not really massive changes there for Stygian. Savaras now can be properly blocked. And Twin Sisters fixed an issue where the dot from this ability could be dodged and blocked. Okay. PvP sets. Galerians from IC is now properly labelled as a proc, meritorious and powerful. These sets did not properly follow their intended sorting behaviour with how they applied to targets, so they fixed that. Okay. Vice Cannon. The damage over time can now stack from multiple users. Again, I didn't know it couldn't. Kind's Wind, so these are trial sets. Okay, so these don't really apply to PvP at all. Roar of Alkalosh. Increases set's armor reduction cap to 6k up from 3k. Perhaps damage dealers will finally wear it, but probably not. I like that. Okay, so these, the trial sets are pointless to look at, really. Crown Star, events, don't care. New Life Festival, don't care. I think that's it, guys. I think that's it for the sets and all the changes for PvP. Yeah, that's it. I'm sure. All this is just role-playing shit. But it's alright, guys, because they've fixed the main quest. Hell yeah. Right, yeah, that's it. That's gotta be it. Yeah, that's it, guys. That's the bottom. We're there. We're finally there. Holy shit. I'm sorry for going on for so long. I didn't realise it'd take that long. But yeah, that's the patch notes for the Waking Flame DLC. 7.1.0. This is my first patch note review, so I'm sorry if it was boring. So as always guys, I'm going to remind you not to forget to click that like and subscribe button. It really does help a brother out. And without further ado, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.